We are live, my friend. Welcome to UFL T.S.D.N live show with my co-host Alan Alford. And there's a lot of news, Alan, to go through today here. You know, a lot that came down in the UFL, and we got to touch on the Super Bowl. Talk about the Super Bowl the past weekend there. I'm not happy. I didn't want either though one of those teams to win, but Kansas City won another one. That's two in a row.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. We'll talk about the Super Bowl and a lot of things here on the UFL Fan Den. I'm excited to be here. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much worked out what I expected, as far as the game.
Yes, I and the halftime extravaganza. That wonderful. That was just as good as the football. I thought as the game. Probably. I mean, I loved the game. Don't get me wrong. There were two teams I wasn't interested in. So, and but they won again. I was hoping for maybe the Jets or the Giants to get in there, but no sirree. But anyway, when you're talking about the NFL, it's especially these ones who repeat. If you look at the players they have and the money, the budget that they put in, for these teams for offensive line, defensive line, you're looking at the money. That's why I like the XFL and the UFL, and uh, the money. They don't get paid as much, but they're just as good at players as the NFL. Some of them, they're really good. But I think they should have a budget or a ceiling on what all the teams can play. That way, there's not two or three teams that are just uh, super teams, almost like robots. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what's kind of frustrates me when they spend so much money on players like that. And
Yeah, I agree with you in a large part. Like, I don't mind somebody getting paid millions of dollars. I have nothing against that. The only thing about it is when you could tell with the NFL, because of the fact the players getting paid so much, you can tell they carried themselves accordingly. They carried themselves as somebody who's, hey, I'm the top of the heap. I'm getting paid a bunch of money. I can kind of do whatever I want to do. You don't get that as much with the XFL, the USFL. You get guys who are really competing, and there's still that purity to it, that it's just about football and providing themselves an opportunity. They're anxious to meet you, the fans. They excited about doing interviews, and they have that pureness to them. When you're in the NFL, they know that they are kind of like a bullseye or target where people want to kind of get from them instead of giving from them, and they handle themselves accordingly. So that's the part that I love about the UFL, the XFL, and USFL is that guys are going after it. They're not thinking about that, and they're not carrying themselves that way.
they're hungry. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
hungry. They want to get back to the NFL. But the NFL, you got to remember, generations and generations has watched the NFL. And when it first started out, everyone was looking for something. They were looking for something, and that was the NFL. It was just like with rock and roll. Everybody was sitting, they were waiting for something. And when, certain singers came out, that was it. They were waiting for it. It's just like with the NFL. I think they're waiting with the spring leagues. They want to support it, but there's too much stutter stepping in between where they be going for a year or two and then they lose. The sport is there, but it has to at least get 3 to 5 years in under its belt so people will know it's going to be there every year. And I think it'll have a history to itself and a historic, you know, uh, to itself. I mean, it's separate from the NFL. It's different because it's in the spring, and the NFL has been in the people's mindsets in the fall. We always watch football in the fall, and like I said, I've watched NFL all my life. Love it. I love it, but I always loved the underdog, though. I always root for the underdog. That's another reason probably why I like the XFL is because it's like an underdog league, compared to the NFL. They're the super big dog in the room, And the XFL, the USFL, and even a little bit the AFL. I like the AFL, but nothing like I like the XFL. I think it's the little dog in the room, the underdog that I go for every time. Anyway, there is a lot of news though. A lot of things. I wrote some little news nuggets down, like you said just before we went on the air. AJ McCarron. What I heard a few days ago is that he was waiting. They were going to sign him, but they weren't sure if they were gonna or he was going to come back. He was making the decision on going to retire or come back to the Battlehawks. So what you just told me here before we came on the air is good news, man. I'm so glad he's back, and he's back with the Battlehawks.
Yep, he's AJ McCarron officially signed today, back with the Battlehawks. I did see that post from the UFL directly, and he's back. And no surprise, I predicted he would be back because, and what the reports say is that he asked the Bengals to be released so he could sign for the UFL. And to me, he's making the wise choice. Yes, it is a bummer, and it does suck that, as we talked a couple shows ago, where he has to kind of pay to play because of the wage. But if you're going to continue your football career, you have to lace it up and get out there, because there's no better opportunity than being in a stadium that's going to be filled to at least 90, 95%, if not sold out capacity, and you're the starting quarterback, and then it's ABC, Fox. You're going to get exposure if you're AJ McCarron, and your position is a lot better from a marketability standpoint playing for the Battlehawks than it is backing up for the Bengals, where he's coming back, the quarterback, and it's a great opportunity for AJ McCarron. I think he did the right choice.
I think so, and I think if you look on a lot of the content, there's a lot of UFL followers. It's growing. You can see it daily and weekly. Each time there's an announcement or another player signed. Although I was going to ask you too, Alan. What do you think about this Donald D. LaHaye, known as Destroying? They signed him.
Okay, yes,
San
that's right.
Antonio. Yeah, he signed with the San Antonio Brahmas as a kicker. I guess he was a kicker in college, and I like it. I actually subscribe to his channel. He's got 6 million followers. The guy, and he's signed to the San Antonio Brahmas. We'll see what he does, but I'm excited about it. He's got a lot of people watching that guy. I mean, he's got his name out there. He's out there. I hope he can kick pretty well.
Yeah, I hope so too, because that's also that story, and it's gonna be great to meet up with him. Not only do you get a chance to see what he could do on the field, but just get some pointers on how to grow your YouTube channel, because as I know, it's not easy to grow your YouTube channel.
No, man, it's every guy. How he got 6 million viewers, I'm still wondering, how did he do it? I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And it's a job to get 6 million viewers. I mean, I don't think the UFL even got 6 million viewers, do they?
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, if anything, that's great marketing right there for UFL.
There
For
you
that
go.
signing.
There's 6 million more eyes on the league, And
Yeah.
I've heard him. I was watching some of his interviews. He's a smart guy, He looks like he's got everything in check. I think he's going to be a asset to the UFL. I like it. It's
I think
almost
so
like,
too.
yeah, I think it's like, he's almost reminds me of like Rod Smart, he hate me type deal. I think they ought to put Destroying on the back of his uniform. Put Destroying on the back of his uniform. I think that would be really awesome, wouldn't it? I think it would be cool. And while the rule book was released, I was going to tell you too, Alan, guess who else might be coming back into the league? He was released from the Carolina Panthers. Can you guess who he is? Or
Ooh, okay. Released from the Panthers. That's a good question. Wilkes? No, not Wilkes. Not Steve Wilkes. Player, correct?
Player, very good player. He played for 2.0, XFL 2.0. PJ Walker.
Okay, yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You
you
know,
remember him with the Houston Roughnecks in 2.0 and XFL 2.0 in 2020?
yeah,
He tore it up, didn't he? I
he
thought
sure
I
did.
watched he tore it up. I watched every game. PJ Walker, man, he tore it up. I'm telling you, he was really good. I hope he does come back.
Yeah, I hope so too. And things are heating up. I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, they're doing the right things. That they're putting a little bit, the UFL that is out at a time, and now is a time because Super Bowl's over, so that's they already had their parade. And I did want to say to the people, definitely prayers go out to Kansas City because of the
Right,
unfortunate incident that happened there.
right. I was going to
Definitely
mention
prayers.
that too, Alan. Yes, my prayers are with him too. I mean, I was going to mention it towards the end of the show, but yeah,
It just
it's
yeah.
awful when you can't go to a football game and something like that has to break out. And here we are in the 21st century, and things like that are continuing. It's an awful thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You can't even celebrate and in peace, no matter how much security is there. I mean, it definitely they had a lot of over 800 police officers and staff. I mean, there's just so much you can do, and it's just unfortunate that that's still not a deterrent in this day and age. I'm thankful that it was towards the end of the event. At least it didn't. It could have been worse. It seemed like a lot worse. But yeah, congratulations to Kansas City. I know you wasn't a fan of them making it, but
No,
you got to give props where props is due. I felt
I
as if
am.
Kansas
I
City
am,
was
my
going to win
friend.
this game. I was saying it for the last 2 weeks that Kansas City is going to win this game by 3 points, and it worked out. It took a while for us to get to the game that I thought we was going to see, a tight contested game, but it's pretty much the way I expected it, and Kansas City ended up on top.
I wasn't sure. I thought for sure McCaffrey would come through. The McCaffrey man, he's a tough little fullback. But I
He
thought for
is.
sure he might come through. But well, they won it again. But like back to that NFL thing, where I just think if you could see their budget, you know what I mean, how much they put in all them players on the whole team, and how much money them guys are getting paid, they better win a second one. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
anyway, congratulations to them. But I mean, I'm so excited about this training camp coming up next Saturday, the 24th. That's coming up next Saturday, and that's the 24th training camp. I can't wait for that. And Kurt Warner's son, Gabe Warner, is playing in the NFL, and he talked. I guess Kurt Warner was talking on Fox News about the UFL and stuff. So that gave it a little bit of notoriety, a little bit of publicity. His son Gabe is going to be playing. He signed with the San Antonio Brahmas. San Antonio Brahmas, are they getting everybody or what? What's going on here? They're going to be a
Yeah,
heck
I
of a
see. Like
team.
they're making all the moves. I just am clueless as to, and I'm not begrudging anything that they've done, but I'm surprised that other teams haven't kind of caught along. Like because once the season starts, yes, you can get a player there, here and there. In fact, the Guardians did a great job of doing that. But you need to get the ball rolling kind of now. Like as far as signing people, it seems like the Brahmas are really putting their foot forward in that regard.
They're stacked, and a lot of the teams are. I mean, you look at you got Boogie Roberts there with DC Defenders, and Jordan Tiamo just came back, so they're pretty loaded on both sides, offense and defense. Pretty much, I don't think the Arlington Renegades got. They should have went after some more players, or are they waiting till late, or what are they waiting for? Arlington Renegades.
That's a great question. I'm surprised that other teams. I mean, I know they're picking up players from here and there, but they're not getting the splash players, that
Yeah,
we know that the fans know are going to make a big impact. But it's going to be a great season, and I did want to let the listening audience know that I'm hopeful of a couple things to bring to attention. That I am going to be at the Daytona 500 this weekend. I'm hoping a couple things happen. Number one, The Rock is supposed to be there. So I'm hoping I run into The Rock at there. He's going to be the Grand Marshal on Sunday. And I'm also praying and hoping it doesn't get rained out on Sunday too, because they're predicting it to be rain. So,
oh man, get The Rock, get an interview with The Rock. Will you, Ellen?
I'm gonna definitely do my very best and go after it. If it's meant to be and God has it in my will, I will get it. But yes, at least I'm gonna be there. He's gonna be there. We hope that it doesn't get rained out on Sunday. But it'll be great to meet up with The Rock again. So that'll be really cool.
Yeah, definitely, man. That would be awesome. But anyway, it's been an exciting week. Oh, the Carolina Panthers. See, I wrote these little notes down. Matt Corral signed with the Birmingham Stallions from the Carolina Panthers. He was released from the Carolina Panthers and is going to the Birmingham Stallions. There's another team that is stacked right to the ceiling. I mean, them guys, well, they're going to start having to cut pretty soon. They're going to have to start cutting players a little bit here when we
Yeah,
get
and
in
that's
training
the
camp.
dreaded part that you don't. I mean, it's part of the business of football and sports. That's the part that you never really enjoy, even as a somebody who covers it and as a fan. It's part of the business. I remember the first player I interviewed on the XFL. Unfortunately, this was at the beginning of training camp. They didn't survive till the end of training camp. They got cut, and you never love to see that, but it's part of the business. You're right.
Yeah, it's like a lot of players, they either make it to the NFL or they won't, or they'll go back to a job that they were doing before they, I mean, yeah, it is. And, there's some really good players out there that will probably never play, and in the NFL. And that doesn't mean it because they weren't a good player. It's just, opportunities didn't arise so they could show their stuff, man. You just get out there and show it, what they can do. But
that's a great
yeah,
point. What my question to you would be, because I could just kind of feel the vibe when I post up something from the UFL. A lot of the friends and the players that I met from the Orlando Guardians that haven't been signed, you kind of feel like that. I guess that anxiety. What do you
yeah.
say to players that, like, say, the Guardians or other teams who, at this point, are not going to be in training camp?
I would say to them guys, if I could talk to them right face to face, I would probably tell them don't give up, keep trying. There's next year, or just keep trying. It's so hard because there's only 8 teams in the UFL right now. There's not, if they had the full 16, they would be trying other teams. Now you only got 8 teams. There's only so many spots available there. So, but I would tell them, don't give up, keep going. Don't believe in yourself. If and just keep trying. That's what I would tell them. I mean, because there's a lot of good players on Orlando Guardians and a lot of the other 8 teams there. Seattle and Vipers even had some good teams there. I don't know. There was a lot of good teams that I don't know where they went. A lot of them went. They're on these 8 teams right now, but where some of them are gone to, I don't know. But it's weird. I think a lot of them will hang around. They'll wait till next year. I think this league will be there next year. It looks good. Oh, I was going to ask you, did you see what the new ball looks like?
I did see that. I did see not only the ball, I saw the advertisement. I saw Moose, Daryl Johnson, his behind the scenes little video of going to the factory, how the ball is made. And I saw the price too.
What do you think about the price? I mean, an NFL ball is going to cost you $300-$400.
Okay, so that's a good selling point because I haven't priced the NFL football recently, so that's actually a great deal. Then comparing it to the NFL football, 175. I know. Yes, I am going to get one of them. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I am going to get a UFL football, and I just pray that it's something that is not a one and done or two and done. That football better last around because that is you got to be really invested as a fan, someone who supports the league to drop $175 on a football.
I know. I pre-ordered one. So I
All
pre-ordered
right,
one.
my man Curt, he already a
I
step
did.
ahead.
I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered one, not the one with the team, but just the league ball. So I pre-ordered one. But I know I was looking at the price. I don't know what the shipping is yet.
Okay, so you went through the process 175 and they didn't
Yeah.
give you a price on the shipping.
No, I didn't go to the checkout yet. I'm waiting to
Okay.
go ahead because I'm going to see a big surprise when I see what the shipping is going to be. But
There better
it
not
looks
be
like
additional fees on there.
it looks like a beautiful ball. I don't know. I hope so. You know.
It looks beautiful. You know what? I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna get one. So if I know the UFL is watching me, yes, I'm gonna get a football. Among other things. You know,
Me too. I'm going to order some other things too.
yeah.
T-shirts and a couple other things. But I'm waiting
But
for
that was
the.
the thing I saw online. A lot of people were talking at that price tag. But see, I did not know the information that an NFL football, an authentic NFL footballs, like you said, three something $100. That's that 175 sounds a lot smaller than.
Yeah, well, it's just they're hesitant to put that $170 some out there. Well, you got the shipping. I don't know what the shipping is. The shipping's probably about $23 or somewhere right around there. But to have a professional ball and if everything works out like I think it is, I think everything is going to go good. I think ticket sales are going to be good, and I think attendance are going to be good. I think I think they're going to have good ratings because you got all the eyes from the broadcast stations and the Fox and ABC and ESPN. I think get a lot of eyes. The same amount of stuff that they were networks and stuff that they had back in 2020. So I think, and this is bigger than 2020 to me because you got both leagues involved. So they're all both united. They're under one uh, league name. So you got all these minds that are working. You got Daryl Johnson and all the other guys involved. So you got all these minds working together. So maybe they can come up with a lasting thing here. It'll last. I hope so. I'm praying for it.
I hope so too. I mean, I really do, and I think they'll be good this year. I really do. I think the St. Louis Battlehawks are gonna come out. I do think the Brahmas. I feel they're gonna do their thing. The I think I can see Audi Stadium being the Bear Snake. I can see that being a really good selling point. And then you have the teams that have already been there. The Showboats. You have the Stallions. They're going to do well. And shout out to the Stallions because I did not know this until I watched the late great Reggie White's documentary, which I watched this past week. He first started in the USFL, and I did not realize that.
Yeah, he was a Memphis Showboat. Played for the Memphis Showboats. Yeah. The
Yeah, I was
Minister of
like, what? That's
Defense.
cool.
Yeah, the Minister of Defense, man.
Yep.
Yep.
And great documentary. Well done. If you guys haven't seen it, check out the Minister of Defense. I watched it, and that was a foot of note for me that I did not know that Reggie White started from the USFL. That is very noble and honorable.
Yep. Ain't that something else that shows you, and just like we were talking about the Kurt Warner story there from last week, that shows you can come from nothing and you can become a legend and make history for yourself through these leagues. It's been done before. It's a proven fact that you can look at Kurt Warner, man. He's a Hall of Famer. Look at this guy. I mean, there's many other players like we're talking about. There's a lot of players that came through the AFL, the XFL. Rod Smart. He hate me. I
He
mean,
hate me. Shout out
he
to
was
Rod Smart. He hate me, and he's from Lakeland too, so which is not
yeah.
far from me.
Yeah, he's right around the bend from you, and that's what I said. And I mean, he's amazing. He made a name for himself. He made history. That's if he didn't do anything after the XFL, he already made history. Maybe not money wise or monetarily, but hey, he made a name. He's in history. No matter how you look at it, if you mention Rod Smart and he hate me, it'll come up. It's strange. I think that's what this Donald D. LaHaye is
Destroying,
doing.
man. He's doing
Yeah,
big
you know what I
things. I
mean?
mean,
I'm liking it. Alan, I'm like this. I'm liking destroying. I'm liking it. I subscribe to his channel, and he's interesting to his interviews and how he got the phone call from the UFL saying they want him to come down to the Brahmas, and he signed. And I don't know how, hey, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big
It
deal.
is. You brought up a great point, Kurt. I mean, I want people to understand that getting signed right now for the UFL is not easy. You went from 16 teams down to 8, and the talent pool is increased, and the chance of you getting signed has decreased because of the exorbitant amount of talent that there's so many spots. No matter how great you are, there's so many spots on the roster. And for you to get signed, that is something special.
It is. Yep. Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that too, Alan, because for you to come on there like that, well, he was good. He was pretty good in college. So I was watching some of his kicks and stuff. So he's good. I think he's really good. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be a good kicker. Well, they had Parker Romo there at kicker for the Brahmas, but if he can get anywhere close the way he kicked, plus with his name, there's something about him though, Alan. I like it. I'm digging it. I think it's going to be pretty awesome when he gets in there. I'm
I
loving
think
it.
so too. I'm excited to meet him. And hey, 6 million followers. That's like the Jake Paul of boxing coming
Yeah,
over to the UFL.
yeah. It's like Muhammad Ali stepping in the ring there a little bit. And then
That's
it's
awesome.
awesome. The UFL needs these eyes, man. They need a name. I would actually make a jersey like they did with Rod Smart with He Ate Me. I would make jersey destroying jersey and go back to the old and see what happens. Just see what happens. I know he does have a jersey where I see him in one of his. He had his back turned where it said "destroying" on it, almost like "He Hate Me" type
Okay.
look to it. And I mean, I loved it though. It was pretty cool. I'm loving it. What do you think
He
about
doesn't
some of
have
the?
6 million followers for no reason. He knows how to
You
market himself.
you got it. He got me hooked. I'm there. I'm in it. I'm in destroying. I'm following.
Speaking of
So
kickoff, what do you think about the kickoff and the new rules?
uh I see they mixed it, mixed some of the rules with the USFL rules with the XFL. I like how they did that. Actually, with the kickoff thing, where they get the ball on the 20-yard line, and it's actually a more traditional type kickoff.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
don't it doesn't bother me. I think it's okay. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I like it. It's more traditional. It's more traditional than the XFL kickoff, although it was different. The XFL kickoff saved players from getting hurt as much, but I'm liking it. It's all right with me. I can follow that. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can live with it. I'm kind of biased a little bit. I love the XFL kickoff. I loved it. I really
Me
did.
too.
I felt as if it was safe. It was a great way to kind of incorporate it into the game where you still get a chance to run it back. We didn't. We had a couple of close ones. I don't recall if someone actually ran it back, but I thought it was a fair way to kick it off and keep it in the game. So I can understand some of the fans' disappointment. A lot of the fans did say that they wanted the XFL kickoff. They were like, "Hey, you could have the rest of the rules, but the kickoff you got to keep that the XFL." But I'm not surprised by it because Daryl Johnson said that a couple of weeks before it became official, the rules, that he felt as if the XFL kickoff didn't look like football. So that was his opinion, and I wasn't surprised the ultimate choice came down to that they kept kind of like a traditional kickoff.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not hating on it, but I was looking forward to the XFL kickoff, but I'm not hating it. Um, I like how they mixed a lot of the other rules. Some of the coaches where they can take a timeout. What is it called?
Yep.
Where the coaches can
You can
uh,
challenge anything,
challenge
just like
anything
before.
at any
Yep.
time. Yeah, that's a good rule. I like that.
That's
Keep
great.
that in
Love
there.
that.
Yeah,
Love that.
me
And that
too.
also means a non-penalty too. You can challenge anything. I love that where you get an opportunity to challenge maybe a pass interference, a holding. If they review it and they see it's warranted, you get to keep your timeout. And they are keeping that. They are, the where you have to be very good by the goal line too. I love that too.
What do you think about the where they had 1 foot in last year? This year it's 2 feet.
I like that. I like the 2 feet rule because this is going to be potentially, if you thrive, potentially your next step to the NFL. So you kind of want to incorporate those type of rules where you get both feet in so that you get used to that if you do go to that next level. I like the 2 feet in. I
Me
think you're
too.
playing professional football at this point. It's not collegiate. You're playing pro football. You're getting paid now. I like the 2 feet in bounds.
I like the 2 feet in also, though I went with the 1 foot because I like that. I just seen a lot of players use that. Could have been called out if there was 2 feet in, and instead of the 1 feet, it was 2 feet. I seen a lot of them would have been out of bounds, but so yeah, you're gonna have to be knowledgeable or be aware of that sideline with the 2 feet rule because you got to make sure you get them 2 feet in. They're gonna have to practice it, because it's going to
Yep.
be changed from some of the players from last year. They were just getting passes, and I did see some passes though that I didn't think was actually a touchdown, where they just touched the sideline, the white line, and
Mhm.
I thought it was actually out, and it was in because all he had to do is touch that white line with his 1 foot and the 1 foot, and he was in, and they called it a touchdown. But as a matter of fact, some of those plays from last year with the Orlando Guardians and the Vipers, I seen some of them 1 foot in plays with those guys, and then the flags started flying with the Vipers, and both of them teams got uh, jerked around quite a bit with the flags and the 1 foot deal. I
Yep.
think.
And if you're a coach or a player, hey, start practicing that 10 yards to the goal line now because there's a 3-point conversion,
Two
so
point, right? The
there's a
3 point.
3-point try, there's a 2-point try, and a 1-point try
All
at the
right.
2 yard line. So I love
Yeah,
that. That is an XFL rule. They kept that. That's awesome.
I like it.
So I love that,
Me
and
too.
I love that, the 3-point conversion. And, that's what I love about that's why I think the UFL needs to continue to do is make sure you stay in your lane and stop trying to compare yourself to the NFL. The NFL has been around for 58 years. You have billionaires that own each individual team. You have millionaires on the field. You can get there for UFL, but remember, there's the iceberg thing where a lot of success is below the surface. You got to
Yeah.
get there. It's
Yep.
not overnight. The NFL is not an overnight success. I
No.
know a lot of people look at the Super Bowl and they're like, whoa, see all these celebrities. They're at the creme de la creme at the top. The UFL needs to stay in their lane and kind of grow this organically, and surely but slowly they'll get there.
Yeah, it's going to take time. It's going to take like a tradition. A lot of people like us guys, we like the spring league. So, and it's a traditional thing for me. Every spring, I watch the XFL, now the UFL, and so it becomes a tradition. After time, your children are born in your family. They watch it, and then keeps getting passed on and passed on and passed on. It's like with the NFL, like we talking earlier. It was there at a time when people were looking for it. They were looking for something. And when the NFL was born, it was there, and just it was there. Everybody was looking and waiting for it. Just like with rock and roll, they were looking for something. You know what I mean? And it just happened to come along, and that's it. It's been with us ever since, rock and roll and NFL. So the spring leagues, there's been a lot of doubters. There's been a lot of people who are they don't want to go change their old ways. They want to stick with the traditional NFL, which that's good. I love the NFL, but I was looking for something new, and I'm looking for more football in the spring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. If you love football, plug in, get connected to the AFL, the UFL, get connected because this is some great, great players. As you mentioned, Kurt Warner, Reggie White. I mean, the list goes on and on of players that, get this opportunity to play. And you just never know where it's going to be. I'm glad that AJ McCarron is back because
Oh yeah, me too, man.
Joe Burrow is going to be back next season. You better get your work in. You're QB1. I think he made the wise decision. Eventually, I think that the pay will increase for the players. It's going to have to, but get connected, jump on board, and support the league. And if you have a team that's in your city, don't make the mistake some other teams made and not show up and just say, "Hey, let me pass and wait and see what happens." Well, you may not get a chance to wait and see what happens. Your team might leave. Go out there and support.
Yeah, or even even if you don't have a team in your city, I don't have one right now in my city, so
Yep.
I'm just
Me
gonna
either.
so if I like a player, like I like Louis Perez, so I'm gonna follow him a little bit, but there's other two or three teams that I like. DC Defenders, the Arlington Renegades, which they're not too stacked as everybody else. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. You know what I'm saying? Unless Perez gets. Remember though, he wasn't with them all the way through last year. He just came on the last 3 or 4 games. So, but he did everything he had to do. But he had Sal Cannella, Vines there. I don't think them guys are with the team this year. So it's going to be a little bit different for them unless they pick up a couple different receivers there. I'm not sure who they have in running back.
Oh, the league entirely is going to look different than it did last year. The XFL, the USFL, it's going to be a different vibe and look from both sides. I just think, the fact they're going to be televised, there's different teams, different uniforms. I mean, it's going to be a different situation altogether.
Yeah, I think we're going to be excited about it. I think it's,
Yeah.
I think the fans are feeling it. It's growing. I think when that first game between the Stallions and the Arlington Renegades, and if it's good house, if there's a lot of people there at the stadium, I think they're going to get excited, And then the second game is the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Michigan Panthers. So, and that's on Fox. So they're both them opening days on Fox. Excuse
Bless
me,
you.
Alan.
That's all right.
But
Yeah, I
both of
mean,
them,
yeah, right. Televised. I mean, you got no excuse now. You don't need to have the ESPN app, which I do have. ESPN2 app. You can go ahead and watch it on Fox and ABC. A lot of the games.
yeah, it's going to be wonderful. Just to have it back on Fox and ESPN and ABC, it's going to be, you don't have the FX thing. I used to watch the games on FX. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird. I actually like FX for movies and stuff like that, but it was kind of strange to follow a XFL game there. But I did. I must be a fan because I followed them right to FX and wherever they went. I watched every
Yeah,
game.
that's right. Yeah, it's going to be a great season. It really is. And I think once the ball starts rolling, I did want to give a shout out to AFL too, to Coach Cyber. And I've seen a couple of fans taking digs at the fact that the tickets are not available in the AFL. You guys got to be patient. They're coming back. Things
Yeah,
don't move sometimes as quickly as you want it to move. I've coordinated events. Sometimes you got to be patient.
yeah, and there's also I haven't mentioned it to you, but I trying to reach out to get players on here and stuff like that. I've ran across some people who are taking sides, or you have a AFL, or they mentioned something about the XFL, or and they're saying, well, they're our I've had people say they're our competition. We really don't want to be on your show. I've had people say that.
On the
Well,
AFL players?
on the AFL side and the UFL side, where they didn't want nothing to do with the AFL, and the AFL didn't want nothing to do with the UFL. So I didn't say
Wow.
anything about it. I kept it myself, but I just feel that that's kind of crazy to take sides and to be. It's all one league. You got to get with it, man. Don't set and downgrade one league or the other. I mean, like, and I'm not taking favorites. I like the AFL, but my favorite, is the XFL. I like that, but I'm not going to downgrade it. I'm not going to say, look, they don't have this going on right now. They don't have about, anything else at store or whatever, anything that's going on. I don't say anything about anyone. I just, go on about my business. I like everybody and I treat everybody how I want to be treated. So, I mean, if somebody says something negative, I try to shrug it off, let it goes off my, back like water from a goose's butt. And I just go on about bragging, not bragging, but mentioning how excited I am about the UFL and how great it's going to be this year. And I don't know if it's jealousy or I think that's some of the reason why the XFL had problems before. There are haters out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, no matter what business you're in, who you are, there's going to be haters, especially when you are on the rise and you're doing something successfully. Me and you are here to promote the game, particularly spring football, whether it's UFL, AFL, and beyond. And hey, it's to help you get to know the players, the coaching staff, what's available to you. We are here to promote football, so there might be some cross promotion. Like, you might see somebody, as you saw it the last 2 weeks, somebody from the AFL, Coach Schweiger, he might come on. We might have somebody from the UFL come on, and it's to promote football, spring football, and players, coaches, and beyond, and give you guys awareness. Hey, I was covering the XFL Orlando Guardians. The team was no longer here, and I'm still going forward. So you can do the same too.
Yeah, and we're hoping they'll come off pause and get back to Camping World Stadium, man. They had a
Yep.
beautiful stadium down there. The
Yep.
team was, yeah, and the team was there. They had good players. It's just a matter of just having that. I think they were late starting. I think they would, if they had a couple more games, like 13, 14 games. Who knows? Or
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I went to the Pro Bowl. And for those who don't know, the Pro Bowl in that Camp Run Stadium, which holds a lot of people, I would say was about 90% full when the Pro Bowl was there. Same location as where the Guardians were. So you guys in the area had the potential of showing up. You chose not to. So that's why the Guardians are no longer there. You got to support the team. That's what it is. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see that the stadium was, at least 90% full. And it's got a lot of seats in Camp World Stadium too. You guys got to support. That's a clear indication that you need to come out and support.
yeah, I mean, if you say you love a certain team or if you love the league, get out there and support it. Buy a football. Buy a football, Alan.
Yep, that's right. The UFL football, which I am
Buy
going
a
to order.
U. Me too. I got to get one. I got to get a jersey
you're
and a
supposed to be
matching
getting
ball.
autographs from when you work media. You're not supposed to be getting autographs, but hey, it's tempting to have to get that football to get Danny Garcia, The Rock, Daryl Johnson to get them all to sign it.
Get them to sign that football, man. I just hope the shipping ain't too bad. Come on. I don't know. I'll check that when we get off here. I'll check and see what the shipping will be on that. But I definitely plan on getting one and some.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm gonna get one too. I would love to actually go to that factory too. Like how Daryl Johnson did that
that
tour. I love stuff like that. I went to the Louisville Slugger Museum. I love things like that. I'm planning on going to the Mizuno where they make the gloves for the Major League
yeah.
Baseball, make awesome custom made gloves. I'm thinking about going to Texas to see that. I love going to factories. So not only would I love to buy a football, I would love to buy it directly, like right at
Watch
the
it.
factory.
Yeah, watch the ball be made, man. That's
Watch the
my
ball being
ball.
made off the lot. I mean, I love
Yeah,
behind the
that's my
scenes stuff like
ball.
that.
Yeah, awesome.
I thought that was cool. Props to the UFL and Daryl Johnson and the media team for bringing us that because I love that behind the scenes showing how the football is made,
Me
meeting some
too.
of the workers who make the football. I love stuff like that.
Me too. I loved it. I watched it. I probably watched it 3 or 4 times just to watch the ball be made. I thought it was cool. I liked the look of the ball too. It took me 3 or 4 times to look at it to get it because I keep wanting to see XFL because for so many years it's been XFL ball, XFL, XFL. Now I got it put in my head because I UFL, but I don't know what's going to happen next year with the USFL conference and the XFL conference, if they're going to change that or it's going to stay for a couple, 3, 4 years, or what's going to happen with that. The conference is going to go
Yeah, that's a
back to
good
north and
point.
south, or
They might add more teams. You just never know. You know what? That actually is a great point because you never know. They might add more UFL, USFL, and XFL teams back. That would be cool to keep it like slowly but surely. Add two more teams, from the USFL. Add two more teams back from the XFL, and
yeah,
they kind of go from there. And then as it grows, you maybe mix up the conferences. But that's the cool thing is they can expand from that.
yeah, they can leave it how it is for a while and just on each add teams on each separately as they go, and then later they can go ahead and add it north and south, whatever they want. If they want to go back to that, or just keep it XFL, USFL division conference, and they. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but you know what I mean. I'm sure it's going to have to change with as they add teams to a regional, you know, thing where the different states and stuff. Like I don't have a New York team, so I'm looking forward to bringing the New York team back. New York, New Jersey Generals. I hope they do.
Yep. And I think they expand, and I definitely think it's a great opportunity for the UFL to go ahead and add more teams in the future. And it's a great question to ask. And I'm curious too. Like there was a great question a fan had asked, which I would love to ask Danny. How come her name is not on the football or some of the
Ooh,
other
yeah,
owners?
yeah, I was looking at the old XFL football though. Danny Garcia's name is all over them, but on this one,
Yeah,
Danny's not there. What's going on?
yeah. Like, is it maybe the three owners? I don't know, but that was a great point that one of the fans brought out. I can't take credit for that, but I did see that. I was like, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's a
so we
very
listen
good
to your
point.
comments and your feedback too, so that,
That's a
that we
very
can,
good point.
yeah,
Thank
that was a
you,
very good point.
whoever made that point. That was a good point because I just noticed that. I didn't think about that until after you mentioned that. I was looking at the new ball. I wasn't looking for Danny Garcia's signature or anything on that new ball, but now that you say it, it's not there.
It's not there, and none of the other owners are on there either. So it's not like, but yeah, that was a interesting discovery. So props to the fans for bringing it
Yes.
up.
Yeah, thank you. That was cool. It brought that to my attention. Well, anyway, what do you think about the week, man? I mean, that was the UFL this week and good
I think the
week.
UF they had a fantastic week. I love the fact that they released the rules. They showed the football. They're posting up the training camp is about to start. I kind of wish they let us know if we can see it. Some of the training camp.
Yeah, I would
That's to
love
be
that.
determined. Hey, but I love how they're starting to take kind of like hold of things now because the Super Bowl is now officially over. It's over whether your team won or not. The Chiefs are the champions, and props to the Chiefs for winning. But yeah, they're starting to move in the right direction. I love what the UFL is doing. AJ McCarron is back. So in 1 week, they've had a huge week, and I definitely see this pattern going forward. The UFL is going to be doing big things.
Yeah, it's exciting this week. It was this. I think what's going to happen is going to keep getting new news, new players, free agents coming over. we got AJ McCarron, we got Jordan Tiamo, we got Donald De La Haye destroying. He's with us
Right, yep.
now. We got him. We got Kurt Warner's son, Gabe Warner.
That's
He's going to
right.
be joining down in San Antonio, so he's there. That's going to be cool to check out. You know, Kurt Warner's going to he's going to watch his son. He's going to be in the
Oh yeah, yeah.
stadium.
That's yep. That's right. You know, we love to have his son as well as Kurt Warner on our show. Both more than welcome. But yeah, there's
Oh,
gonna be some
definitely.
great things happening.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You know, like I said, I'm looking forward to see what Destroying does. And Gabe Warner, his son, and this Matt Corral. He signed with the Birmingham Stallions, quarterback there from the Panthers. So he was pretty good. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to be doing. And you know what AJ McCarron's going to be doing in Jordan Tiamo. And our buddy there from the Orlando Guardians, Quentin Normandy, and
Yeah. Oh
Cody
yeah.
Latimer. You know we're going to be seeing them with the San Antonio Rob.
Yeah.
I hate like how to say. Sorry for saying that, but I hate like how I keep saying the San Antonio Brahmas when they were with the Orlando Guardians last year. You know what I'm saying? I can't. It's not registering in my mind to see them in Horns Ford stuff. I'm not used to it yet. I guess I'll have to see them on the field. You know what I mean, to see what's going on. But I got a feeling they're going to start right off with Cody Latimer and them guys, and right off winning. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to be undefeated for the first 3 or 4 games. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
that.
And I love what I'm seeing from San Antonio. I've been there. The fans, that's a very solid fan base. They love to dress up and support their team. So, you know, at least with the 8 teams they have some solid fan bases. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. So there is no team that I feel is gonna be lacking in that department. I think all the teams there are gonna show out and support their team, which is really, really cool and awesome to see.
yeah. I think so too. I think that with them two coming back, Jordan Chiamo and AJ I think a lot of people didn't expect to see them back, and I think they were just going to say, "Oh, to heck with it! I'm not going to go watch the Battlehawks because AJ McCarron, you know, or I'm not going to go watch the DC Defenders because Jordan Tiamo wasn't there." I think them guys, with them guys being back, it's just going to give more solid, you know what I mean, solidarity, some more strength to the league and returning, and showing people that we're returning, we're back. We have some of our best players from last year, and we're back this year in 2024. And I think it's going to, add to people's psyche. They're going to say, look, they're back. We've been doing this for a couple, 2, 3 years now. I know it's going by the UFL, and they're going to call it the inaugural season of the UFL and all that. But you got 3 or 4 years in between from 20. I know the COVID thing, the dreaded disease that caused that problem with in 2020. Otherwise, I think that the league would still be going. But that stopped for a little bit. Then he came back, and so now they're here. We're still here. They're still going strong and better than ever, I think. And from all the social media sites that I'm seeing, get miles are wagging. So people are talking about the UFL more and more, and so I love it.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited about it. I really am. And before you know it, that first game will be here. So I'm expecting big things from UFL. I think you're gonna when people actually see it, that's when they're gonna see that first game. I mean, the Stallions versus Arlington Renegades. That's fantastic. They got the football now. They got the
Yeah, oh
rules.
yeah, I love it.
They got the player. And hey, and if you're in training camp, ball out, ball out, because you want to be one of the people that actually are named. Their name was on a roster. It's like you look at that roster sheet. You want to make sure your name stays on that roster sheet.
Right, I can't wait for training camp next week. It's next Saturday, the 24th. I don't know if they're going to televise anything or show any videos of some of the players or anything like that. But I get excited about training camp. I would like to see who's staying, who's going, and I like digging into that and seeing what's going on. I don't like
Yeah,
the cutting, when they start cutting team players and stuff. It might cut somebody I like or something, you know what I mean? But hey, it's got to be done.
yeah, and that's what I'm glad you brought that up. That a lot of players, they sometimes take it personally when they get cut. Sometimes it's not a personal thing. It's just you have so many spots on the roster. You might be able to really ball out, but there's only 2, 3 guys that can play that position. That's it. And you hate to see somebody get cut, but that's part
Excuse
of
me.
professional sports, unfortunately. That's the one of the bad sides of professional sports, you would say, that people have to make room on the roster. There's so many spots you have.
Yeah, and there's growing pains with this being a new league, and everything. There's only 8 teams, so there's only so many spots there available, and uh, it's loaded. I mean, there's so many good players that are there, of, like AJ McCarron's and the Jordan Tiamos, the Quentin Normandys, they're the names we know, but there's people underneath them names there that we don't know about in the offense and the defense line are good players that we will hear their names this year because there's just so many. It's so condensed. You know what I mean? From the 16 teams to the
Yeah.
8. So it's just loaded. It's almost like taking when you're making Kool-Aid or something, and it's. I know that's a weird analogy for it, but it's like it's so condensed that that it's going to be strong when you taste it. You know what I'm saying? The Kool-Aid's going
Yeah.
to be strong. It's so condensed. That's a weird analogy, isn't it? I shouldn't do that. But
But
anyway,
props to AJ McCarron for coming back. I'm glad he made the right decision. I feel like the coach, like the guy in Rudy, the maintenance worker, like, hey, you got to get back in the game. I know that it may not be ideal for you, especially financially, but unless you're going to hang up those cleats, you got to get back in the game. I'm glad he signed and he's back in the game.
right, Alan, where would he be? He would be playing second fiddle to another quarterback. He wouldn't be the main guy, and he would either hang up his cleats, like you said, and retire, or go back in there for one season with the UFL, and maybe who knows what happens is going to happen with the UFL. I have faith the UFL is going to really kick butt this year, so I think it's going to make its history debut. I think it's going to be huge this year. I got a weird feeling about that because I just got that feeling, like we were talking in other previous episodes there, that you can feel it. It's like gasoline. You can feel the energy coming off the players, coming off the people when they talk, and like this destroying man. I know I keep mentioning his name, but I tell you, when he talks though, he's exciting. I like that. Rod Smart was
Yeah,
like that
destroy.
too. Yeah, you didn't
That's
forget
awesome.
those Yeah, it's gonna be cool, destroying. I love it.
The Jake Paul of YouTube, comes and joins the
Yeah,
UFL, the
Donald.
YouTuber.
Yeah, his name is Donald De La Haye, destroying, and he's got
Donald
six
De La Haye
million.
destroying.
Yeah, and he's got 6 million viewers. So Donald D. La Haye, buddy, destroying. Come be on UFL Fan Live then, and let's bump up those numbers a little bit and get a little bit more eyeballs on this show. I love it.
That's right.
I'm
That's
subscribed to
right.
your channel now, destroying.
There you go. You already picked up 6 million and 1 right there.
I know, hopefully he's watching this. I've subscribed. So Donald De La Haye, buddy. I'm not gonna stop saying your name. Get these eyeballs on UFL Fan Live show. We want you on here, so we'll be after you, buddy.
He's already got more fanfare on this show than that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's just amazing, I cannot believe it. Oh man, that's a lot of eyeballs. That's a lot of subscribers, man. I just love it, man.
That's putting in some serious work right there. I mean, you gotta, like you said yourself, you gotta pull teeth to get some of these subscribers, and it's for
Oh yeah.
free. I don't
Oh
know why
yeah.
people love to hate you. It's a free subscription. It doesn't cost you anything. If you
No.
love the content or even like it, just subscribe. People are
Yeah.
so, I don't understand people, man. That's why
It's
we need
almost,
to get him on the show to see what is
yeah,
his
we got to
magic
see what,
secret.
yeah, right. We got to get destroying on here, see what his formula is. What's his formula? I'll tell you, I watched some, like I said, and I don't want to keep mentioning him because he's going to think I'm stuck on him or something, which I do. He made a lot of sense. He's exciting to listen to. I like it. And yes, if we can get him on the show, I'd love to have him on the show.
Yeah, I would definitely. That would be a great show right there. 6 million and one and counting.
And I'm, I've been reaching out. Like I said, I've been reaching out all over the place. I'm trying to stay. I think I went a little bit too much on some other leagues there, but I'm going to stay within the AFL and the UFL and the XFL, USFL, and not go out of those realms. I think I'm kind of putting too many fingers out all over the place. Somebody's going to be chopping my fingers off because, like I said, there's people who they're haters or they just love their league and that's it. They don't want to talk to another league. They want to talk to their league. It's their league and that's it. And they don't want to, and some people that just hate on you if you try to get people together or something. It's weird. You got to get together. You got to talk. You know what I mean? And people don't want to. They want to separate and be haters. And I think this is just a dumb thing to do. Especially when you're talking about we all love the spring leagues. We all love it. So whether
Yeah,
it's
and
you know,
for those people who don't know, Coach James Shiver said that the players who get cut, he gets first dibs at them. So if you have a player that, let's say, was on the initial roster, didn't make the final roster, you get cut, Coach Shiver from the AFL could pick you up and you have an opportunity to play and you never know if you might make it back. So, hey, it's an opportunity. An opportunity might be going to the NFL, it might be going to another team on the UFL, and it might be going to the AFL, but it's still an opportunity. There is no AFL, guess what? There's no opportunity for you.
right? It's just another opportunity. Even though, it doesn't matter what the league's name is. It's another opportunity for you. Don't get mad because there's another little league there, and you set yourself on a certain league or a certain thing. Everybody's aiming for the NFL. They all want to get into
Yeah,
the NFL. But I'm telling you, NFL is another destination. That's another thing to go
that's
to there.
another. You said it perfect, Kurt. That's another kit and caboodle all the way around. And taking somebody who covers the media, the NFL is another entity all by itself. They call the shots. Let's just call it for what it is. You're at the top of the mountain, you call the shots, but it didn't happen overnight. 58 years, the 58 Super Bowl we just watched. Just think, it's been 58 Super Bowls. What about the years before that, before there was no Super Bowl?
Right.
So, yeah, and they didn't get there overnight. So, it's a process. So, just think to yourself, just like the UFL is going to make it, you got to be willing to go through the process.
Right. And then when the NFL was created, or we had the NFL. Years later, you had the NFC and the AFC.
Right.
So it's almost like here with the spring leagues, with the XFL conference and the USFL conference. It's not the same, but it's almost. They've joined together. Now you have the two conferences, just like back in the '60s when that happened with. I know Joe Namath was the one who came through on the AFC side, but hey, you got Jordan Tiamo, you got so hey, you got some good quarterbacks coming through. You have the both two conferences and stuff, so it's a little bit hinting on the NFL thing. So I like it. I think it's a cool thing. I don't know, I love the rules. I don't see too many changes. Only the two or three changes that you and I talked about.
Yep. There wasn't a lot of changes. There really wasn't. I love the rules, like you said. Definitely, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great season, and the two forward passes, which was in the XFL too, but
Yep. Yep.
That's some, you know what? If you're coach, you need to look at 10 yards to the touchdown, and you need to look at some of those unique things. The double forward pass. Take advantage of those things.
Yep.
Take
Practice it.
advantage.
Practice it and
Practice it.
practice it. Practice
Take
it.
advantage.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that's the thing. You gotta and study these rules, because as we've seen in the Super Bowl, if you don't know the rules, you're at a statistical strategy disadvantage. And that's what happened with the 49ers. The Chiefs were well prepared. They knew
Yep.
exactly what they were going to do before it happened. The other team, not so much. You're at a tactical disadvantage if you don't know and understand these rules.
Another example, what if we mentioned, the Super Bowl is 2 feet down. You see how many times 2 feet down was with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, there was Kelsey. Oh my God, that he's a phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they understand the rules. They know the 2 feet down thing that you know, and now with the XFL, like they went by the 1 foot down last year. So a lot of those receivers are going to be thinking 1 foot down. So unless they practice it over and over and over and over
Practice it.
again.
Get into your mind right now. 2 feet down. Get it drill it into your mind. Start practicing right now, and get those 2 feet in, because I like the 2 feet in rule when you're at the pro level. I'm cool with it being a collegiate level, but once you get to the pro level, yeah, you got to get both feet in, because your next step, or at some point, is going to be the NFL. So at least start getting the work in now.
Right, that's what I say too. It's if it's going to be a professional league, you got to get 2 feet down.
You got to
Otherwise,
get two
it's
feet
just college, or it's not professional really. But man, this has been a good show, good episode. I love it, man. We made it without any errors.
down. It's always great.
Oh my God, I was so afraid when I clicked the go live thing, it was going to put me an error. Man, I was going to freak. I was going to freak out if it did that. But anyway, it was a good episode. We mentioned the rules. AJ McCarron's back. PJ Walker is released from the Panthers, so we do know that he may show up. I hear he may show up with the Battlehawks as quarterback number 2 behind
And you know
AJ
what? I'm
McCarron.
curious to see if he's. I know he said he wasn't when it got closer to them announcing the teams. Right before they announced the official teams that survived the merger, Josh Gordon said he was not going to play spring football. I'm curious to hear if he still has that thought process that he's not going to come back. I would love to see what his thought is now that we're getting closer to actual starting and the teams have been decided. So I'm curious to hear what he has to say on that.
Right, and Max Borgi there. They say he retired, so I don't know if he's.
Yeah,
I mean, is he actually retired or will he come back? I don't know.
I think it's more. It seems to me that it's more of a definite no with Max than it is with Josh. I think Josh was, saying that. I didn't get the impression that it was the end of the story. Max, I kind of feel like, unfortunately, it sounds like it's the end of the story for him.
Yeah, that's there's going to be other people coming back that we almost forgot about too. That we not forgot about, but they kind of slipped our mind. But they'll be coming out of the woodwork, as well. So, but like I said, man, oh, and the UFL shop is going to be updated and upgraded, so it's going to have new stuff. I went and looked at some of the newer stuff. Not quite newer yet coming in, but the footballs were there. The footballs look wonderful. The
Get a
team
football,
balls.
folks.
Yeah, get a UFL football, man. I know. I don't know what the shipping is. I can't tell you, but they are a beautiful looking ball. I love them. I love them. So, Alan, that's the next thing. Next week, we'll be talking about training camp.
That's right.
Training
Training camp
camp.
right
And
around the corner.
yeah, that sounds good to me. Like I said, I'll be getting a hold of you during the week because I've been reaching out all over the place. So I'm trying to. I have a couple people who just haven't got back to me. They said their schedule is pretty much planned and done, already done for the next couple of months or month or two. but they will get a hold of me the minute this opening and their schedule opens up. They will get back to me. So we're looking at that. And I don't want to mention names, but it's cool.
Yeah. Let's keep plugging away.
I will, my friend. And it's been a
All
great episode. Thank God I didn't get an error. I was worried about that. And I'm glad AJ McCarron is back. I'm glad the league. We're looking at a lot of different people here, man. I love it. And Donald De La Haye, destroying, baby. I love that guy, man. It's gonna. I hope we can get him on the show. All right, Alan.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you go, my friend. It's been a good one. I'll talk to you after we link off the league here and stuff. But love you, man. And
Love you
been a
too.
good show.
Always a pleasure.
All right, love you, man. See you next week.
You got it. Definitely.
All right.
Take it easy now.